Hello, I'm Sahda Callista from 12th Science 3, and in this video I will tell you a story about Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She had this name because of her grandmother gave her a little red hood and she wore it every day. Her grandmother loved her very much. One day, her mother said to her, "Little Red Riding Hood, please take this basket of food to your grandmother. Be careful on your way and do not leave the path." "Don't worry, Mom, I'll be careful," said Little Red Riding Hood to her mother, and set out the way to the grandmother's. Her grandmother lived in a village on the other side of the wood. As Little Red Riding Hood entered the wood, a wolf met her. She had never seen the wolf before, so she didn't know they were dangerous. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood. I'm Wolf. Nice to meet you." "Hi, Wolf. Nice to meet you too." "Where are you going, Little Red Riding Hood?" "I'm going to my grandmother's house." "Where does she live?" "She lives in a village on the other side of the wood over there. It's the first house in the village." The wolf walks next to the Little Red Riding Hood and then said, "Look at those pretty flowers. Why don't you pick some for your grandmother?" The Little Red Riding Hood looked and saw all the pretty flowers. She ran out of the path and started picking a bunch of flowers for her grandmother. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. "Who is there?" "Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf. "I have some food for you. Please open the door." Grandmother opened the door and the wolf quickly jumped in and pushed grandmother into the closet.
"Help! Please let me out!"
cried grandmother. "Be quiet and stay in the closet." The wolf put on grandmother's dress, cap, and glasses and got into the grandmother's bed. After Little Red Riding Hood had picked a big bunch of flowers for her grandmother, she finally arrived at the grandmother's house. She saw the open door and called out, "Good morning!" There was no answer. She slowly went into the bedroom and saw her grandmother lying in the bed, looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what a big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my child," was the reply. "But, grandmother, what a big eyes you have." "All the better to see you, my dear." "But, grandmother, what a large hands you have." "All the better to hug you with." "But, grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have." "All the better to eat you with." The wolf jumped out of the bed and tried to eat Little Red Riding Hood. She shouted loudly and tried to run away. Just then, a hunter was passing the house. He heard Little Red Riding Hood's cry and went to the house. "Go away, wolf!" said the hunter. He pulled out his bow and shot the wolf. The wolf ran away, and Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother lived happily ever after.